Good morning, everybody. This is Nikki with the American Lighting Association. Thank you for joining us today for a live webinar. Today, we're going to be speaking about the Integrated Home Competition, the 2021 Lighting Award winners, and how to enter for 2022. And I'm going to hand it over to Terry McGowan to get the webinar started. We are recording this webinar, so it will be available for you to go back and revisit it if needed.
Thank you, Nikki. And this is Terry McGowan, Director of Engineering for ALA. And I'd like to welcome you to this webinar. The Integrated Home Competition is a new name for what we used to call Lighting for Tomorrow. And I know some of you have followed that as we have in the ALA for a decade or more now. It's been one of the most popular ways to figure out what's really important in terms of both lighting products and how they're being marketed. The focus of Lighting for Tomorrow is on energy efficiency. The focus on the Integrated Home Competition, as the name suggests, is really on connected products for the smart home, if you will. And so energy efficiency and connectivity are key factors in this competition. And we're going to look at the competition not just from the standpoint of products, but also why we're doing it, how it runs, and of course, soliciting entries for this year's competition in 2022. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Alice Rosenberg, who is the program manager for the residential sector for the Consortium for Energy Efficiency, one of our two organizing colleagues for this competition, second one being Underwriters Laboratory. So Alice, tell us about it.
Thanks, Terry. Well, welcome everyone. Yes, new name for a pretty old competition that we started in 2002. Let me figure out how to do this. Yeah, I want to tell you a little bit about what the competition is, highlight some winners from this past year, and then dive into how to enter this year if you've got connected products and are interested. So that's our agenda, and we're happy to answer questions at any point. So what is important has evolved. CEE is the Consortium for Energy Efficiency. Our members are utilities and ratepayer-funded program administrators across the US and Canada. And what they are looking for is certainly still energy efficiency, but we're evolving that to really also focus on integration. So grid connectivity on top of high performance, having the capabilities to interact and seamlessly communicate across products, across a home with the grid. And that benefits utilities for a variety of ways. Having access to dynamic energy is really useful in managing to peak loads and different climate conditions, and ultimately affording and providing safe, reliable, low-cost, reliable energy. And then there's also a huge benefit for consumers as well, being able to really have access on data about their home's energy uses, personalize and customize their user experience. And there's benefit as well for manufacturers. So this is kind of a concept of what our integrated home vision is. And the competition is just one way to advance the market to get those products and solutions out there commercially available. It's an annual competition evolved from the Lighting for Tomorrow one, where we're looking for those devices that really are innovative and contribute to this idea of a connected, fuel neutral, interactive, and efficient home. And so by doing a competition, we really each year seek out the best of the best and reward those manufacturers who are bringing really unique ideas to the table, coming up with innovative solutions that are a benefit to the utility and also a huge benefit to customers by being interoperable, reliable, and easy to use. These are our sponsors in 2022. I had to make the images smaller because we've got so many. Many of CEE's utility members are on here, both gas and electric, both US and Canada. And then we've got UL and ALA. Also thrilled to have a lot of the other trade associations from products like HVAC, water heating, Pool and Hot Tub Alliance. So a ton of trades really buying in. And then we've got the federal government, plenty of the national labs and other entities. So a really robust group who are all working towards this same vision, are sponsors of the 2022 competition. And why do they support it? Well, I hopefully kind of explained the utility value proposition. It's also beneficial for folks like DOE and EPA, who are, again, working on very similar goals, reaching towards decarbonization. And we're all kind of under this understanding that to really reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we as a nation are going to need to not just have high performing homes, but ones that are responsive to time and locational value of energy. So again, as renewables come onto the grid, being able to tap into those while the sun is out and be able to shift when different products are being used while still affording consumer amenity. So this competition really helps identify the products out there in the market that are doing this. And what in turn happens, we identify the winners, and our members get a sense of what the trends are going on and can really identify which types of products they might want to promote in their local offerings to customers. So with that, 2021 was our first official year of this full integrated home competition. We're going to go over some of the winners from last year and hopefully kind of explain some of the cool new trends that we were seeing and what we were so excited about from the judges. We had a total of 47 entries across a very wide range of categories. Certainly a lot of great lighting entries across all product categories within that sector, but then also looking more broadly at home energy management systems, HVAC, thermostats, attachments, window attachments, lighting, ceiling fans, and then an open category, which is one of the most fun, really a catch-all for anything that is contributing to this vision. And from those 47, we awarded 1 grand prize winner, 6 overall winners, 5 honorable mentions, and 5 special recognitions. We'll go right into Sinopay Technologies, which was our grand prize winner, and just Terry's going to talk a little bit about each one and why they won.
Yes, thanks, Alice. There were some definite trends in 2021. Non-energy benefits, one of those, and of course ALA is very interested in that because we know full well that the lighting product doesn't sell, especially a fixture, unless it looks good and it blends with the decor and has the modern characteristics that we know and love. So function is one thing, but also energy efficiency and connectivity are others. And this competition, of course, is going to put the emphasis on the connectivity part of it. So safety is one that certainly always has to be added to any list of characteristics. Certification of performance, something that is a growing characteristic on a connected product. But since it does connect, since it can be hacked, along with the technology that is involved, that certainly has to be something that we consider. That's whole system security, by the way, when we talk about cybersecurity, not just the device itself. So the question comes with certification, who wants to get it certified? Certainly homeowners, some homeowners do. We're very careful about their systems and access to them. But also utilities, the sponsors, as Alice mentioned, are interested in this. And you may remember that I talked a little bit ago, a couple of years ago, about Energy Star and what they called their SHEMS offering. They put up a model to talk about the smart home energy management system. This is where the utility and the homeowner interconnect so that the utilities can offer incentives if you, let's say, turn on your water heater after maximum load period for the day, or if you operate appliances in other appliances in a certain way. So SHEMS, this whole idea of energy management systems and utilities, is really what we're trying to grow here from a utility standpoint. And making the connected home part of that into a network does certainly mean we pay attention to not only performance, but also security. So it is something that we paid a lot of attention to. That's why UL is involved, of course, too, and also the utilities. So those are the trends, but let's take a look at some of those products and see what we're really looking at. And I'm going to show you those products in context, not just lighting, but lighting oriented and smart lighting products, the ones that the judges felt were really deserving of some extra attention. And as Alice just said, the grand prize winner was a very interesting product. And it is one of those SHEMS ideas from Sinopay Technologies. It's a home energy management ecosystem. So it is wireless in the sense that it is controlled wirelessly. It has a contact point in several ways. One is through an iPhone. Secondly is voice control. And you may remember we also, in the ALA we're very closely looking at the growth of the smart home. And we had a report from an organization called CABA on the future of the smart home. And one of the very clear, and of course we're familiar, many of us, with Alexa and some of the other voices that now are in our homes to respond to those commands. But this was certainly one of those things that needs to be in virtually every kind of smart home, connected home technology. So this one has it, of course, and it has much more than that. It has wireless light switches, wireless connectivity points, and products that will make virtually any product smart, because if you plug into just an outlet, you can have a smart product and controlled by this system. So this is an ecosystem. And another interesting characteristic of it, it's a Canadian product. Some of these systems are very exotic, come from overseas. Some are very manufacturer oriented, but the judges thought this one was particularly interesting because one, it was flexible, two, it was simple. And as you see, it uses a Zigbee technology for communication. This is a very standard type of technology, and together with Wi-Fi, so that it had a lot of the features, and those features help to save energy, save money for the consumer, and also fit very well with the decor and characteristics of the building that they're in. And, oh, I should mention one other thing, and that is that that system can also handle pretty large loads, such as water heating and other miscellaneous loads. So it's really a total home system. The products that we saw varied quite widely, since this is a new field. And so we've tossed in a couple of things here that I thought would be interesting, even if they're not exactly in the lighting category. For example, this smart dry device is just meant to bring old appliances up to modern convenience and control. It's very user-friendly. It's a phone app, as you see here. And it's intended to help older gas dryers, of all things, become more efficient and be more controllable in a very simple way. So some of these things certainly make sense when you think about saving energy and saving money and adding convenience, but they can easily be done once you have this system into place. Now, the first lighting product that won an award was Good Earth Lighting. And Good Earth Lighting was typically a contestant in our Lighting for Tomorrow competitions too. So we're used to giving Good Earth Lighting awards. This one was very simple. It is an outdoor floodlight. It has some nice optical properties, 240-degree sensitivity to the sensor, so it can determine movement. It is connectable with Wi-Fi, and if the Wi-Fi is down, Bluetooth will take over. It comes, and I thought this was interesting, with preset settings, so that if you don't know much, you don't want to get involved with a lot of the details to fine-tune it for the location where it's installed, it's got those built in. It will revert to those upon installation, so you don't have really much to do to put it into place. Connect it to the wiring, put the app on the phone, and there you are. And it also, of course, responds to voice commands too, so it can be set to do that. So this is a motion activated floodlight. I was interested in the optics because they're so broad. They kind of match the broadness of the sensitivity of the sensor that can kick it on if there's movement. So good controls, good optics, good smart home characteristics, and all of those went into making it a winner in the lighting category. Next one is a very simple device also, and it's also Good Earth Lighting. This is a smart red, green, blue, white strip light kit. Now there are lots of those on the market, and the judges thought this was a fun product to set up and operate because it was so flexible and again, so easy to set up. It responds to voice commands, Alexa or Google Play in this case. It's got 0 to 100% dimming and really almost an infinite number of color options using red, green, and blue. So very highly controllable and easy to set up. Comes with some hardware so you can easily put it up on some kind of well, perhaps a back of a bed headboard, and very easily install it, spread it out, plug it in, and turn it on. So again, simplicity was one of the very much of the important characteristics that we looked for in this product. Next one is a Legrand product. This is a Natamo series. There are a number of products in this. It is a smart lighting family of products, really. This has got the Zigbee control system again. It has some very intuitive user interfaces, and I'd like to also stress the wireless characteristic. So when you see one of these controls on the wall, it doesn't mean that somebody had to run wiring through the wall. It means somebody just fastened it to the wall, and it communicates wirelessly to that central system or to the product which it controls. So the unique thing about this particular system is that it has the ability to track energy consumption. So it can monitor what you could do. For example, if you wanted to save energy on your electric bill, it could monitor that and give you a report on it. And that applies to all of the products that are connected to this system. Typically switches and dimmers and outlets are part of that whole system. Also, the communication goes a little bit beyond the usual Wi-Fi because it's kind of a mesh system. In other words, the units talk to each other in a separate communication way. So it has a little bit more flexibility and reach than the typical Wi-Fi only system. Next product in this series is a ceiling fan. And smart ceiling fans are becoming very standard, especially with DC motors, which are more efficient typically than AC motors. There is some overlap. And often LED lighting is part of the package. This one has all of those. So it's an attractive fan. It's got a very intuitive app. Again, a phone app is available for it. It can work with a variety of these platforms that I've mentioned before. So this Minka Air fan, certainly deserving of the honorable mention that it received as part of this year's competition. Next one is a little odd, and I've thrown these in here in different ways to remind you and me that there is more to this smart home than lighting. There's more to it than appliances. It can even involve the electrical panels. And here is one that is made by Savant, and it got a special recognition for resiliency because it allows you very flexible control of what's on and what's off in the home, right at the circuit breaker level. So this is a really in-charge device. It helps you increase the resiliency of a home, and especially if that home has solar panels or other kind of power source. Some homes have not only solar panels, but batteries so that they can go through a power outage very easily without turning off the home completely and leaving on those critical loads so that the home can continue to be a place where people can live and work and get on with their lives. So this is really a new idea, but it is updating the electrical panels, as the sign says there, to the 21st century, because this allows you to control what circuits will be on, what circuits will be off in the event of a power failure. And with storms and both winter and summer now and intensifying over many parts of the country, this is really a way to put people in charge of how their home operates under very adverse conditions. The next product is one that I particularly like, and of course, WAC is a common name among ALA membership, but this one is really quite different. We're looking at more of a commercial application here, but it is a residential device in many respects. And while it's made for high-end homes, it's got some characteristics that are really unusual in the smart home context. One, it's structural, so it can hold itself. If you had just a blank room with walls and ceiling and floors, you could put this device in. fasten it together. It could stand by itself. It could be bolted to the ceiling or the walls, however you wanted it. And while it looks like electrical track, and it has some of those characteristics, it's far from what we think of when we think about electrical track. For example, it operates at low voltage, 48 volts. So it's not intended to be interchangeable with all the track fixtures. It has its own, but it has a selection of fixtures that are designed for it. And those fixtures can provide area lighting, down lighting, accent lighting, and a variety of characteristics so that you really can put together a whole fixture package for a home just with the fixture types available. And each fixture is smart in the sense that when it is connected to this device, to the strut track, it automatically is sensed by the system so that it becomes smart in itself, and the connectivity is in place. You don't have to install it or change the app or go through an installation process. It's very flexible and customizable. I was thinking of ways where a designer might use it, and that would be, let's say you rent a space, a small apartment, say. You move in with your strut just like you would your furniture, and that would provide the complete lighting system. You would not be limited by the lighting system or the wiring in the facility, but everything would come with it, and you could move the lighting system along with furniture and other things if you wanted to do that. So the flexibility is great, the connectability is good, and it becomes a whole lighting system by itself. And I have not seen anything quite like that. So certainly special recognition is appropriate for the WAC strut system. Next one is something that burst upon us really when we ran into COVID problems the past couple of years. And this was to incorporate UV germicidal disinfection in fans. So here is a Modern Forms ultra smart fan, and indeed it is ultra smart because it not only has all of the control characteristics and can work with the systems as we've talked about, but it also adds the additional feature of the UV germicidal capabilities. And this is done in a way that it does not impact people, so it's a safe approach as well. It's what's called upper air disinfection. And if you look carefully at the picture of the fan above the fireplace, you notice a little purplish glow. That would be the UV. These are LED UVs emitting in the UVC range. It's a short wavelength, so they will disable the virus, like the COVID viruses, cold viruses too, for that matter. Any virus will be eliminated very quickly in any air that passes through that upper air space. And so the claims of 99.99% virus reduction in a room are very much in line with the capabilities of products like this. The fan itself was designed for airstream that is particularly good for upper air disinfection in terms of proper circulation. And so what it does, it can provide an oasis of pure air, like outside air coming through a window in any space where the fan is installed. And so let's say you have someone down with COVID in a sick room. If they had this fan, that air in that room would be disinfected, so it could not travel to other rooms in the house very easily, certainly. And it would also, of course, in other rooms of the house where if the fan were installed there, it would provide extra protection for the occupants from transfer of the virus. So this is an idea whose time has come, and it goes beyond residential, of course. It goes into gathering places such as bars and restaurants where disinfection is important, where you need to have some style and appearance, where fans are often used anyway, and this is an added feature. And of course, being a smart fan, the control gives you a very easy way of making things happen, let's say as in a bar or a restaurant where population changes from a couple of people to a whole group in a real hurry. So this was an exciting product to see too, and it certainly follows some of the trends that we're seeing in lighting. So those are some of the highlights from the 2021 competition. What do we have in mind for 2022? Well, Alice is going to tell us about that, including something about the submission process. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Terry. That was fantastic. And we're happy to answer questions about any specific ones if folks want or other trends. But we don't know what's coming up for 2022. Hopefully we'll see some great new products this year coming on the market. And I'll just provide a little info for how to submit if you are a manufacturer or know of someone who might have a connected product. You'll see we have specific submission forms for each of these 3 categories. So we have a separate one for lighting and lighting controls, one for ceiling fans, and one for plug load controls. So we really customize the questions so we can get the best information about those. We also have that fun open category that several of our winners fell into for anything and everything else, and then the full range of other products in the home as well. Timeline, we are getting close to the submission deadline for 2022. So if you've got something, go ahead and start your request to submit by April 8th. It's a very short form, fill that out, and then we'll send you the full submission form once we know exactly what kind of product your product you've submitted. You can submit more than one product. You can submit, I think, up to 10 on a form. We'll look through all those and then let finalists know in about June. We do have some additional judging. We'll look at the products in person and we'll notify the winners in August, and then have awards throughout the rest of the year, including the fall and 2023. It is a very simple process. You can hit the request to submit, basic info just about your company and the product itself, and then we'll send you this full submission form within a week with a lot more detail. We will ask a whole bunch of different questions you can share internally with folks. It'll save all your info, and that form takes a little bit longer, but again, it's all information about your product, so you should know. And as long as we receive the request to submit by April 8th, we'll give folks another week or 2 to really finish filling out the full submission form. And then if you are selected as a finalist and your product is not a huge one, if it's something like the Savant or other in the open category, we won't. But otherwise, we're going to ask finalists to ship their entries so that we can look at them in person. As Terry said, looks do matter, and we really want to get our hands on these, play with them, and spend a lot of time digging in. So for those who are finalists, after the initial screening, we have a 2-day live event of the finalists in July. I'll go into what that entails in a little bit more detail. And then those who are selected as winners have a post-judging performance verification where we do check into certifications and also do a UL cybersecurity review. The criteria we're looking for is very long. I won't go into these in detail, but we have a lot more information. We really are looking for the whole package. So a lot of emphasis on the efficiency and the functionality, and then a whole bunch on, those sort of flexibility, demand response functions about data sharing and interoperability. And then those last 4 or 5 really are about the consumer experience, the amenity, the engineering, the quality, sort of the whole full package. And then lastly, that cybersecurity piece. The judging is a very robust process. We have a full panel that is comprised of a whole bunch of different experts. We have the utility perspective at the table. We'll have product-specific technical experts, those who focus just on smart home and interoperability and usability, human factors, and then those who are more focused on the sales and distribution, so perhaps understand the retail chain and the distribution channel. So we've got a full panel that really sit there, and each product they will look at for a good 30, 60 minutes, really diving in, scoring, writing down notes, and we make sure to capture all of these. Even if folks are not winners, we send all that feedback to any of the finalists. And so it's a really great way to get input from these types of folks on what was good, what we'd like to see improvement for, and how the product can be better. For those that do win, we've got several promotional efforts, and you saw that list of all those 30 sponsors. All of them in their own way are supporting the promotional efforts for a full year after the awards are announced. We have several ceremonies. Hopefully at Lightovation we'll be there in person again this year. AHR Expo, a variety that are not just lighting specific to really get exposure to the full breadth of smart home industry players. We promote at CEE's meeting. We were just at AHR this year, which is sort of everything HVAC and water heating, and there was over 60,000 people there, so quite a lot of exposure. We've got a brand new website that we just launched and a lot of social media to really promote as well. And then a lot of physical material which is maybe not as relevant now, but we do bring those to trade shows in addition to digital materials like winner badges. So a lot of different efforts. And then of course, possibly having utilities promote or run pilots in their local areas. A view of what the online product page looks like. So this is CNOPA's page on our website right now. If you wanted to go learn more, or if you're a customer or a utility, this is kind of a highlight of their product, a little detail from the judges about what was so fantastic, where you can buy the product, what type of award it won. So each winner has their own product page on our website. And with that, I think some of the takeaways that we just wanted to conclude with is that the competition really has a lot of benefits for multiple different players. For manufacturers, the value proposition is that you are really setting yourself apart in the market of the very busy smart connected home space by having utility and government and nonprofit endorsement of your product really being best of the best, having a lot of qualities and features that we're looking for as we move towards decarbonization. You get a lot of feedback and engagement with the sponsors. That feedback loop both to inform your product design as well as to inform them of what you're doing, what types of products you're developing, and the features that you're embedding and including in your products. And then ultimately being able to market yourselves and have others really promote it as well. And then having that kind of feedback, whether or not you are a winner, is another great takeaway. And it is free to enter. So aside from an hour or two filling it out, getting that input really has been very valuable for folks in the past.
Yeah, let me add a couple of points here to what Alice has said, especially for ALA members. Notice the number of sponsors, as Alice mentioned, and the number of trade shows. This really multiplies the exposure of winning products far beyond what we could do with the ALA or the lighting industry for that matter. We simply can't get the reach that we can get with shows like this that involve so many different kinds of products. And it is good experience, of course, for any ALA manufacturer who makes smart products to see what the competition looks like, not just in their own device like a fan or lighting fixture, but what else is coming along in smart homes that they will have to compete with. And lighting still remains a featured product. It still remains at the top of the consumer's list. They start with lighting. And so we're already in there with a built-in advantage. So it really makes sense if you're a manufacturer, distributor, perhaps to take advantage of these connected product features and make sure that they are the best of the best. And here's your chance to do that. So if you are a manufacturer, an ALA manufacturer particularly, please consider entering this competition for 2022. We struggled a little bit with COVID in 2021, but it still happened. And we've got some winning products that are the best of the best, and we'll be promoting those as you'll see. But 2022 is even better. And so I think it deserves some attention, and we'll certainly look forward to getting your lighting products in volume for 2022 competition. I am sure the judges are up to the work. They do work hard for several days getting this judging process underway. And it's great fun. We'll take lots of pictures and videos so you can see some of the things that go on. But it is worth getting a thorough evaluation of a new product, especially a connected one. And that's what we intend to do.
Thanks, Terry. Great. That was our last slide. Did want to open it up if anyone has questions on really anything we covered 2021, 2022. All the info for how to submit is right here, integratedhome.org, enter now. So happy to answer any questions or comments.
Yes, and Nikki, I don't know, I don't see any chat questions, but that is an open channel. You can chat on screen if you want to, and I think Nikki can see that, pass it on to us.
Yeah, I don't see any questions right now, but if you have questions, please feel free to chat them and we'll leave a couple minutes for that. And if not, if you think about something later, always feel free to email out to that competition at CEE1.org, or you can email us at ALA as well, and we can get it to them as well for any questions you may come with after you think of this. We're also going to post it on the website after this is over. So if you'd like to revisit it, you can do that as well.
Good, thanks, Nikki. And I also want to mention that in June for our Lightovation experience, why we will have some brochures. We may have a display or two of some of the winning products, just to remind you that this competition is going on, and we'll be announcing winners in just a few weeks after that. So do take advantage of coming up to the Smart Center, well named, at Lightovation in Dallas, and take a look, grab a brochure, and keep track of this competition, because there will be some new products later this year, and these are certainly going to be of interest as far as the integrated home is concerned. Alice, I know you've been getting some entries. Have you gotten some lighting entries for the 2022 competition as yet?
I think we only have 1 or 2 requests to submit so far. It was definitely our most popular category last year, probably because it comes from Lighting for Tomorrow, but folks are interested in waiting to the last minute on stuff.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
We
have
wanna
any
see
other
more.
questions, but if you do have questions after this is over and you feel like you want to email them in, we're glad to help you with that. And also, I said we're going to record, this is recorded, we will post it on our website. So thank you for joining us today. And if you have questions, please reach out. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Alice and Terry.
Thank you all.
Thank you.